What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony, Michelle, and Dina from Drunken Blurty is joining us. And we are going to step out of our comfort zone. We're going to get away from fantasy a little bit and get into some horror because there is a new Stephen King product out there on the television sets. It is It. Welcome to Derry. And as Stephen King fans, we decided we were going to go ahead and try to tackle this. So, welcome everyone. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about have you guys read the book? Have you seen the original movie? Have you seen the updated It movies? Like how deep into the It pantheon are you guys? Anthony, we're gonna start with you since you're my usual co-conspirator when it comes to Stephen King stuff.
Well, I read it quite a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff when I see it, I'm like, okay, I kind of remember that, but there there's a lot that I don't remember.
Okay.
Um, I did remember watching the original TV series with Tim Curry as Pennywise, classic, great,
Absolutely.
great movie. He was great. I do like Skarsgård. However, Tim Curry was just amazing because he was like funny, delightful, and then he was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Skarsgård is just terrifying all the
He's
time.
just terrifying.
All the time.
Yeah.
Um, and and watch the most recent movies. So I'm pretty familiar with what's going on in the show. And I'm a Stephen King person, so I got all this. Except Dark Tower, I don't do Dark Tower.
Okay.
That can stay over there. But everything else, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with. So
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go. My experience, I haven't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
But I was present when the show came on in the 90s. I watched it. What did it premiere on a Saturday? No, Sunday. And then the next day was Monday. Yep, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when the movies came out, was there for it, and I'm here for it now. I do love Stephen King, but haven't read any of his books except for one, and I still don't remember the name of it. I just remember it was
Was it
about a
Dragon?
prince.
Was it Dragon
And
Tears?
I think so.
Tears of the
Yeah,
Dragon.
it was my junior year of high school.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna
It
say it
was
might be
part of
Tears of Dragon.
ELA class. So that's it.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited to
Oh,
be here.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't think I was ever assigned any Stephen King in high school.
Nah, not me
All
either.
right. What
He was a
about you,
cool
Michelle?
teacher. He was a cool teacher. So
Okay.
I love that class.
Okay. What about you, Dina?
So yeah, I actually, because I was obsessed with every Stephen King movie there ever was back when I was a kid, and so I watched the Tim Curry, and of course that still scars me to this day. I was just telling telling y'all a little while ago, like I fell asleep on this because I was a little tired trying to
Mm-hmm.
rewatch it. I could never fall asleep on Tim Curry because he had me in a chokehold. And then I watched the two movies, the recent ones with the newer cast, when they came out because I love the story, and so I eventually went ahead and read the book because I was like, I ain't never read this book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read it, and it's, yeah, Stephen King just always so in depth, and he builds such a world, but then it's also like so hard to get through some of the bad things that happen, and
Right.
sometimes it's scarier reading what he wrote than watching the movies and stuff. So yeah, that's my history with it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's why I'm not reading the book yet.
You also
And
got to get by some of the cultural stuff too, because
yeah,
Oh,
things have changed
yeah, it has.
over that
But
Yeah.
40 years.
I'm not reading it, and I hate clowns. So
yeah.
She doesn't like clowns.
mm-mm. They freaky.
Yeah. So I think for me, I read it in high school. I think probably either my junior or my senior year, and watched the original miniseries when it came out. I'm kind of like everybody else. Tim Curry was like amazing as Pennywise, but also because he has that he has a little bit of humor to it as well. Like Anthony said, I did watch the newer versions with Bill Skarsgård, and it took me like 2 years before I would even watch it, because just watching the previews, I was like, this looks a little scarier than I want it to be, and I don't know if I was ready for that. And yeah, his version of Pennywise is terrifying. So yeah. So yeah, I just yeah, I love the story. I love the kind of I don't know, something about Stephen King is like it draws you in and it makes you sit there and watch even though you don't want to. Like, you want to sit there and look at this. Like, this first episode was bananas. Literally from the start to the end, it was just kind of like, I don't know if I can handle this. And then we're not going to talk about the second episode yet, but I watched the second episode today and I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. It's so much. It's so much. But okay. So let's talk about this, because we are in the later part of 1961, early part of 1962. I think when we start out the episode, we're looking at a character named Matty, who has snuck into the theater in Derry and is chased out. In those opening scenes, we kind of get a glimpse into some of the characters that we're going to meet throughout this episode. I think one of the things that I do like about this first episode, again, this is 1962. We're in Derry, so we're in a period of time where equal rights is still not a thing, but you kind of see it in Derry. You do see a little bit of the racism of the 1960s they're dealing with, but you also have some characters in the show who are African American, and they appear to be big players, or they will be major characters in this particular show. Major Hanlon in particular, we know just from kind of looking at the old lore and everything, he is actually Mike Hanlon's grandfather from the original It stories. So we do know that that's going to be prominent, not just for this story, but for the quote unquote future It story to come. But excuse me, I like the way that they don't shy away from what the issues are in that particular time. Like, you have the one military person who does not want to give Hanlon the respect that he's deserved due to his ranking, and you have the general who comes in and he was like, "Hey, we don't play that shit here. You gonna show him his respect." I liked it, but I was like, I feel like this is gonna be a thing with the show, because even in the original It, even though that takes place in the 80s, we do still see a lot of that racism and a lot of that that uncomfortableness that they deal with. And I think we were talking about this kind of off screen, but one of the things about Stephen King's works is they do tend to have a lot of racism in it, because he also writes a lot of his stories taking place in that time. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason for that, or if it's just to, I don't know.
It's always to give it context. Like, you can't write about the 60s and not have that be a part of the story, or at least be in it somehow.
Yeah.
I know he's definitely been criticized about like his use of the N-word, and just kind of like how he double downs on the racism. Like, if it's gonna be racist, it's gonna be racist, and he doesn't hold back. And I know he's been criticized about that, and because it didn't stop in the time back in them days in a lot of in some of his books. So I think people, still, feel some kind of way about it. But I do think that it gives, like you said, gives context, because let's just be real, he ain't living in this small white town and people are just accepting him. That's just not not in America. So it's something that has to be like talked about and has to be shown.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things too about that uncomfortableness. Yes, there's a lot of it in his stories, and we all get a little uncomfortable when we hear the N word coming out of a particular, a particular set of people's mouths. But also the fact that he really in his stories is basically saying, look, this shit is unacceptable. Yeah, there are still people out there who talk like this, who say this. Yes, that is definitely the case. But I like the fact that he's kind of like, this is not cool, and almost always with his characters, the ones who are overly racist, they always get their comeuppance. Yeah. And that's another thing I like about the story.
And I always give him credit for being a popular mainstream writer who wasn't afraid to make people of color central characters. He always had a tendency to do that. And I always give him credit for that. So it does make sense that he would make the racism kind of over the top because, from those characters' perspective, that's probably how it would have felt.
How they viewed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I haven't read the book, but is it really over the top racism? Or was it back then? Could that be realistic, but over the top to us?
It's probably over the top to us. But,
yeah, I was going to say that.
To them.
Yeah. And maybe even a little bit underneath realism.
Yeah. Because again, a lot of his stories take place in the 60s, 70s, early 80s when that was still kind of prevalent. And then before. I think we also have to think about the fact that he's writing about stories that are up north. They didn't have as much racism up north as it was in the South. Like in the South, it was rampant. Up north, they were a little bit better. There was still some racism there, but I don't think it was as bad as it was in the South. But, like Anthony just said, it seems over the top to us because we're not used to, or we weren't used to people being that free, saying those types of things and those kind of hostilities and everything. So, yeah, when you read it, especially when you're a younger kid reading it, because like I said, I started reading Stephen King, I think I was like 15 or 16. And it's kind of one of those things where I was like, oh my God, they allowed this in a book, It was kind of a shock back then. But yeah, he hasn't shied away from it, and I think some people, at least what I've heard older, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read most of his newer stuff because for a while I kind of got away from the horror genre. But I do know that there have been some complaints about people from people about like, okay, we get it. This is how things were. This is how people talk, but you don't have to put it in all your books. It's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, let's try something different. But I don't know if it bothers me that much because of the fact that it, like you said, it's a narrative from the way times were back then. And that's the period of time that he was writing about. I mean, truth be told, it bothers me now in 2025 hearing people say that freely on social media and in the streets than it does in a work of fiction.
Yeah. Get that.
But okay. We got to talk about this opening that kind of lets us know, okay, yes, you are definitely in Derry, because when the show starts out, it's kind of chill. You have this character, Matty. He seems to be some kind of like almost like a little outcast. He's at a movie theater by himself. He's the only child in a movie that I guess is it's not that he's not supposed to be there, but he didn't pay for a ticket to be in there, so he gets chased out by the usher. And we kind of see his interaction with one of the other kids in the town named Ronnie. Her dad works at the movie theater. He kind of
hold on, Hanako.
You bypassing one of the things in the movie theater.
What? What am I bypassing?
I'm sorry, the pacifier got me. I'm like, well, hell, hold on.
I was gonna get to that.
You get a description, and as he sat there with his pacifier in his mouth while watching The Music Man.
Yeah, because what I was gonna say, it's called It. Welcome to Derry. When you talking about it starts off chill, I'm sitting here. It was like, okay, when is the shenanigans going to begin? And then you see the pacifier. Okay.
The whole beginning.
See, the pacifier part, it came off as weird to me, but I didn't like. I was just kind of like, okay, that's some kind of emotional crutch. I'm sitting here looking at him. You know, this is a kid who is sitting in the theater when he's hiding, and Ronnie's father is talking to the usher. He was like, yo, man, you know what his family is like, just leave the kid alone. And this is when you kind of get an idea that something's not all that right with his family. And then
the shenanigans are coming.
But the shenanigans haven't started yet. That's the thing.
But you knew that's why I said it was.
This is chill compared to what happens in the next scene. That's all I'm saying. It was chill. This was about a kid who just basically snuck into a movie. He was hiding. And then it's like you kind of look at this kid. Like I said, he seems like he might be a little bit of an outcast. You already get a hint that there's something not right with his family life. The kid has a bruised eye, like someone punched him in the face. He's sucking on a pacifier as a means of comfort.
Okay, I get it. I get it. It's just like the little kid in the raincoat wanting to play with his brother, have the folded up boat floating down the street. Oh, it's so nice and innocent. Right.
Innocent up until the next scene.
Don't you see the parallels?
I do, but what I'm saying is, if we didn't know that this was Welcome to Derry, if we didn't know this was an It story, if they had just started it that way in the movie theater, you would think, okay, this is just about a delinquent child. You would think any of the horror stuff.
But now, clearly,
Anthony.
Welcome to Derry.
No,
they didn't try to fool you or fake you or anything.
I know, but
they started it out just like with the boy wanting to play with his brother with a sailboat outside in the rain. I'm just
saying, it's chill so compared to what happens next.
Oh yeah, just like the boy gets his arm ripped off. Only because I'm watching it, because Michelle watched. Yeah, she watched it, chapter 1, and I was watching like, man, that's like a 5-year-old, and we just sitting here watch his arm get eaten off.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Stephen King also, that is like he don't.
Watching this little boy sitting in the theater with the pacifier, I'm sitting here waiting. Okay,
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. And how bad it's coming, we don't know, but it's coming, because you knew you were on your seat, like.
And that's the thing, because it was so, like I said, it was so chill at the beginning, and then when it was just basically about him getting chased out the theater, I was like, okay, they're gonna drag this out. They're gonna make us wait for it. Nope, I was wrong.
No, I didn't think they were gonna make us wait. That's why I said I was on edge when he was in the movie theater. That's why you saying chill. That wasn't chill. And he's smacking on the pacifier. I'm like, oh, this boy about to go.
He's about to go.
He is about to go. How he's going, I don't know. I'm scared.
I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead. So he hijacking, right? I'm like, wait, when did 11-year-olds?
Okay. No,
hitchhiking. I'm sorry. When did 11-years start hitchhiking?
That was the thing that set me on edge. When I saw him walking and he threw that thumb out.
He's gone.
Here we go.
But he gets picked. When did you realize that family wasn't right?
I was scared from the beginning, just because it was it. I was scared.
Me too.
So when they picked them up and they were all nice and stuff, and they were like, well, where are you going? He said, anywhere but Derry. They were like, well, we're going to Portland. I was like, get the fuck out the car now.
Because most people be like, no, we're going to take you home. Your family is going to miss you. And I said, oh, this boy is going to die horribly.
This is the other thing we got to think about. This is the 60s. They did that shit back then. I mean, if you think about all of the old TV shows we've watched where kids are hijacked. I mean, Anthony got hijacked. When they are hitchhiking and stuff, they're all younger kids. They're all getting in like trunks and all this other stuff.
Right.
But people are not questioning them, not saying, where's your parents?
So
Maybe too loud.
It was the family, because typically a family picking up a kid is going to get them home. If it was a single man in a truck, sure, he'd be like, "Where you want to go? I'll take you. I understand. You got to run away from life." But not a family with a pregnant mother. And
we didn't even know she was pregnant until he hit her stomach.
He did hit her stomach.
He did hit her stomach, but I thought we saw that she was pregnant. She was pregnant.
You didn't see it until he was trying to grab the steering wheel and the father knocked him off and he hit her in the stomach. That's when we realized she was pregnant.
Okay,
but she does mention that he knocked her up after she makes the other kid spell vasectomy. But they don't pan to her belly at that point.
It doesn't matter. She got 2 kids in the back seat. They got picnic baskets and stuff and suitcases. They're a nice family, so they should have been like, "Let's take you home."
Nah, the moment
they did at first ask,
"Where do you live?" Yeah, the moment they picked him up and they were like, "Okay, so we got you in here. You're warm. Where are you going?" And he was like, "Anywhere but Derry." They're like, "Well, we're going to Portland." I was like, first of all, y'all are in Derry, Maine. It don't matter if you're going to Portland. What is the other Portland that's near? Portland, New York, or something?
No, I think it's in Maine. I think it's Portland, Maine.
Okay. So I was like, y'all just gonna go to a whole another city and take the child with you? Don't ask any other questions. Like, and I'm sitting here again. This is it. So we know some fuckery is about to go on, but I'm sitting here trying to think. Okay, what would make a quote unquote normal family not question that? Maybe it was the fact that he had the black eye. Maybe they were looking at that like, okay, this is a kid that clearly needs to get away from his situation. Maybe we'll just take him a little while, take him a little far away, and then we'll make a phone call or something. I was like, you know what? This is not going to end well at all.
Nah.
So then things start getting really weird, because you have the older sister that's in the back seat, and she clearly doesn't want this kid in the car, or at least that's the way she's acting. You have the little brother who is apparently likes spelling, so he just starts randomly spelling stuff, and then the parents start getting into these weird conversations, and it's like, okay, what was it? The little girl said something about she said something nasty to the brother, and the mom says, "Be nice." And she was like, I am nice when I want to be. And she's like, "There's my little harlot, can't keep those legs closed if she tried." I was like, oh, that took a turn real fast.
Right.
Yeah.
But go back to the sister in the liver.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if you don't get the fuck out this car, like, just open the door, tuck it.
I mean, she is sniffing. I hate liver,
wet,
so that didn't help.
Not cooked, just wet raw liver.
Yeah, I just.
I was like, yeah.
All of it is
Pennywise.
All of it is like, here, sniff it. I was like, you know what, I'm good.
The visual of her doing that, because it's
disgusting.
Well, they picked the food.
I would have taken the penalty and just opened the door.
Right. That's why I'm saying tuck and roll. You know what?
They picked the food they knew children would hate the most, and was like, let's play with this. I'm like,
oh. But then, like, this poor little kid, which, if anything, if this scene doesn't teach you anything else, it teaches you, don't get into the car with strangers.
Even if it's a family.
Even if it's, do not get into the car with strangers. Because this family went from seeming normal to psychotic in the span of 10 seconds. And this boy is sitting here just watching this, and I'm like, dude, get out the car already. But again, he's a kid. He's probably in shock. He's probably scared. So he's probably not thinking like, oh, I need to, like, his fight or flight response was not working properly at the time. He's just sitting there looking at the way all of this is unfolding. And by the time he realizes they're crazy is when they start, the mom starts saying, oh yeah, we can spell these words, spell vasectomy. What did she say? Spell vasectomy, spell cadaver, spell kidnapping.
And then it was necrosis.
Yes.
Like all this trouble. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So and then when she said something about stabbing, that's when he's trying to get out the car. There's a gas station, you can let me out. Bruh, it's already too late. They've already said necrosis, cadaver, like you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
So
and
he
then
gets
out.
right. And then the out, and then they're all doing out. They're all spelling out. And then he tries to grab the steering wheel from the dad, and dad is like, "Oh no, I got this," and knocks him off. Like we said, he hits her in her stomach, and that's when we realize she's fully pregnant. Then
they pan to the little boy, and he got the eyes like Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise eyes. So they found the kid actor who could do it.
Listen,
I was like, yeah, you're done.
Oh, you talking about the eyes that's going directions?
So creepy.
Listen.
You know, when that kid walked into the audition, all he had to do was that, and they were like, "You got the job."
Yeah, right. You're hired. You're hired. But then she goes into labor, and
I'm sorry. I have to say this. I'm sorry. We were eating dinner.
No.
We just eat dinner. And we watching this. And when they get to the out, and some definitely came out, Anthony was like, "I'm done." And I'm standing like, this.
She's still eating.
I'm still eating like, this is so hot.
I have so many friends who talked about the fact that they were actually eating dinner when that scene came on. And I'm like, okay, first of all, what made y'all think that you could watch something based on it while you are eating? Like, there's no way in hell.
There's levels. See, I can deal with an arm being bitten off, but a live birth
and that kind of birth?
Nah.
I'm sorry, that stuff never ever bothered me. So I just kept on going.
She still. I had to take my food. I said,
and it's so crazy because she's got her underwear on, and you can see the head trying to push out of the underwear. She actually has to move. I was just like, this is way more than I was expecting to watch. But she has this baby, and everybody kind of stops in the car and it's quiet. Even little Matty is in the back trying to figure out what the hell just happened, because he's like, "Oh, she just gave birth to a baby." I don't think he was thinking that what came out of this woman was going to be what it came out. But let me tell you, I've seen a lot of horror. I've seen a lot of monsters. Nothing prepared me for that fucking demon baby. And the crazy thing was, I got spoiled about the demon baby, because literally, if you did not watch this show on the first night, they had spoilers like 3-4 hours later on the official Facebook page. So literally, I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see a video, and it's that baby's face right in the thing. I was like, nope, this is why because
why they do that. That's so insane to me.
But when I saw that's okay, nope, this lets me know I do not need to watch this before I go to bed. I need to give it a day. I need to wait, because that is the thing of nightmares. I can't, like, I've seen demon babies. I've seen, like, I ain't never ever, like, I mean, I'm fully expecting someone to come to Dragon Con with one of those next year.
Oh, of course.
And they're twins.
Listen,
it's just that one twin is absorbing the other twin. With one wing.
The stuff of nightmares. And then that thing starts, she's like, "Oh, my precious little beautiful baby, come meet the rest of your family." And this thing starts splitting all around the car, still attached by the umbilical cord. Y'all, I don't consider myself no punk. I don't consider myself weak. That fucking baby, no. And then we had to see that thing not once, but twice in the episode. We get it at the very beginning, and we get it at the very end.
But what's my favorite part though is he was like, "Let me get my pacifier, and when I suck on this, it's gonna disappear."
Yeah.
But then when he does that, everyone stops and turn, even the baby.
Like, are you serious right now?
Like,
sucking on a pacifier?
Right. And then
you're ignoring what's happening in this car? Okay, we got you.
And the baby was like, "Oh, I got you ignoring." Because the next thing we know, we hear rather than see the baby, I guess, attack him, and you see the pacifier floating out of the car into the sewers, and then you see the light from under the sewers, and then we get the title card. But I was like, you know what? If y'all starting out the series with this type of bullshit, I'm just, I don't know if I'm like prepared to deal with the amount of fuckery we're gonna get from this show. That was the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the, I just need to know, like, and that's probably gonna come later, but like the significance of this baby being a baby. Like, why did we choose a baby? It's because because the kid was a baby and he was
it is waking up.
It's just kind of like a rebirth because it's 27 years later, so it's like a rebirth.
Yeah, it's in his birthing stages. It's waking up. It's coming out of hibernation, so it's starting kind of small.
And then also using the fear, because at this time because even on the radio they were talking about bombs and things being mutated and stuff. So that was like a fear at that time for people.
Yeah, and we know
about bombs and mutation and so
what year did they say this was?
1960,
right?
It should be either December 1961 or January 1962, because when we start the next scene with Phil on top of the tower looking at the airplanes, the date says April 4 months later, April 1962.
I think it was January, because later in the episode there was fireworks from New Year's and Maddie was alive.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But it was still holiday season because they still had like the Christmas tree at the movie theater. But with everyone, still has that up till New Year's.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all of this is right before the Cuban Missile Crisis. So.
That's what I was just about to ask. It's just because of that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah. So
that is a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's the way they decided to start off this series with the demon baby and the disappearance of this Matty Clements kid. So yeah, I can't say anything else about this baby yet because we gotta save it for the end of the episode. But so at this point, 4 months later, Matty's missing. We get to meet some of his friends, and this is I gotta say this, and I don't know if this is just kids in the 60s. I don't know if this is just the way white kids interact. I just don't know. But it's like the way that his so-called friends were not really
friends. Yeah. Because they wasn't his friends. That's what Phil was saying.
He was feeling guilty because he knew that they weren't really his friend.
Teddy was trying to make it more. Phil is like, we wasn't his friends. His mama asked us to come to his birthday party and gave us candy.
Paid us to come to his birthday.
Right. So they wasn't his friends.
She didn't pay us money. Well, it was candy.
It was like a payoff, though.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't his friends. Yeah. Phil and Teddy are friends. They ride or die, but
you know, it is kind of sad though, because even people who we not friends with, who we kind of deal with, just for whatever the reason is, just so they won't be lonely at Dragon Con or wherever we do. We just kind of bring people just because we're nice and we just want people to not feel alone. Mm-hmm. If that person got killed, I don't know you well, and you're not really my friend, but I would feel some kind of way if you just up and got murdered. Yeah. And even if we weren't friends, I would still feel. So I get why the other little boy also feels guilty, because I would feel that way too. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to be their friend, but this is very sad. You know
Right. What I could have done something to kind of not have him go missing or something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if we involved him more.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So he had somebody to kind of like confide in, or yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, okay, so these are the two friends who, and I guess I kind of got the idea that maybe Teddy probably considered himself a friend more than Phil does, because Teddy was the one who was like, look, he's missing. He was the one that was like,
4 months.
dude.
No, Teddy was just feeling guilty.
He was just feeling guilty.
Teddy is exactly what Nina said. Like, you know what? Oh man, we could have been his friend. You know, maybe
we found out later they only took him up to the hideout once.
One time.
Only took...
and Matty acting like this is his, homeboys and stuff like this. So
I mean, who was gonna question him? Nobody wasn't gonna know, because
let me say that whole again, I'm going to not just those friends, but just the friend groups and the friend cliques all together in this show. Like, Marge does not seem like she is a good friend to Lily, to me.
Oh God, no.
She's one of those kids who's trying to get in with the popular girls, and like all these kids have their different little issues. Like, Teddy is he's a Jewish kid who I don't know, his family dynamic was really weird, because you have him, you have the brother, you have his parents, and the parents come off kind of, I don't know, they're like very quiet and cordial, and then he says the one little thing to his dad. What was it that he asked his dad?
Can you imagine someone can someone keep someone in a sewer alive?
Right.
Yeah, for that long, and he's like, dude.
And dad just explodes.
First of all, I have two things to say. First, about the parents and the adults, we kind of have to take it all with a grain of salt, because they are being influenced by it. So, their mood swings and how they act is not always going to be normal.
Okay.
And number two, as a side note, I know all three of y'all, and I know all three of y'all were popular kids. I was not a popular kid, so some of this stuff triggered me a little bit. But yeah, I pushed through though.
And third of all,
I was not the popular kid. I was just one of those kids that
you knew everybody.
Yeah, but and the sad part is, side note,
that was me.
She's going to say she knows all the people. That actually means you were popular. See, that I learned that. No, I learned that because I did the same thing, like about cliques and popular, and people were like, "Oh, you're in the clique, you're popular," even at work, and I'm like, "We're not in the clique, and no one's popular. What are you talking about?" And then I saw it, and then I realized, oh, that's what they mean. So when you popular and stuff, you don't think you popular, but you popular. Sorry.
You don't think you are.
No, I definitely wasn't popular, but I went to so many schools that I had that filtered into the one school. I knew everybody because I knew them from elementary, from this school and that school.
And I think that's kind of more so for me as well.
Yeah, but that's a part under popular.
I didn't mean to start nothing. I'm just letting y'all know that as the one person who really wasn't, I'm telling you, the three of you, y'all are all popular. Even to this day, y'all are still the popular kids. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, we will agree to disagree,
right? And because we were popular in there, because we had this discussion. We were popular in a way because you did know all the groups, and you could go into different groups and know what is happening, and they know who you are. Correct?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, well, I wasn't popular, but this group of people knew you. 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 Okay. This group of people knew you.
And I think what's kind of happened over the years is it has a negative connotation, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to have been popular.
No,
it's just that a lot of media has made it, like Heathers and all these other movies and shows make popular not be a good thing.
And I don't think it's
necessarily
that. I think for me, my definition of popular is, I guess like the standard social definition of, the head cheerleader, the football person, the homecoming queen, like the people who are like status wise, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what I look at when I think popular, and then that's why I'm like, no, I wasn't popular like that. I wasn't one of the cool
but
kids.
if you ask one of the rich kids, do you know Hanako? Yeah, I do. If you ask another person who was top of their food chain, they'll know who you are. So not that you wasn't the leader of those groups, you were just popular in the school, that everyone knew who you were. And see, that's how I was. Like, people just knew who I was.
So you weren't Patty, but you were one of Patty's friends.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
I was making a joke.
Not at all. No.
Because the Patty cakes are interesting.
That means So getting back to the show, but these friends and these friend groups, because it's like, and I guess that's the one thing that I didn't see a lot of in high school, because like you have Marge, right? And she's friends with Lily, who apparently has gone through some trauma. This is a girl whose father, I don't even, like, even when they explained what happened, I was like, but how? So apparently her father worked at the pickling plant. She went to visit him at work one day. She left behind something, a mood ring or something that she had gotten. She wanted it, so Dad went back to go get it for her, and somehow found himself getting caught up in the machinery.
He was helping. So another person's machinery was getting messed up. He thought he turned the power off before he went in to unclog it or whatever.
That's what it was.
And he didn't turn off the power, or somebody might have did it. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And it started running while he was inside the machinery, and then he got,
he basically got dismembered, and his body parts ended up in pickle jars. And
let me just tell you, as a pickle girl,
well they said that was a rumor that his parts was in pickle jars all over the place.
Well,
but I think it was just in the plant.
Yeah, I think they probably ended up in the jars, because if the machine was on and that's what the machine does, that's probably what happened. I don't think the jars actually made it out.
No, that's what they're saying. It was a rumor that people were finding parts of him in other places.
Yeah, I would hope that the quality control in that place would be a little bit better.
They would have to clean that whole. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, back in the day, back in the day, before
they clean that up,
laws, they would have found some pieces of him in their pickles.
Could be a finger. Months later, you'd be like, "Oh, I thought we got that box of jars. My bad."
Yeah. But apparently, her trauma was so great with this that they stuck her in an insane asylum for treatment,
because it was her guilt. She felt guilty.
Yeah. But so anyway, normal, I don't even want to say normal, regular idiotic kids, they use this as a means to bully her, because she comes to school and opens up her locker, and there's a jar of pickles that's stuffed in her locker, and it falls down. Of course, she splashed with the pickle juice and everything. So you got Marge, her friend, coming over and being like really nice and being encouraging, but at the same time, you see her trying to appeal to this group of popular kids. And I was just like, this is not going to end up the way it's supposed to end up. Like, this is not going to work the way you want it to work. You're trying to be friends with the literal social outcast of the school, but you also want to be in with the popular girls. One of those friendships is going to suffer, and I don't think it's going to be the popular girls. So I just already don't really care about this Marge girl. Yeah. And then Phil, like you said, basically Phil is like, look, we got paid to go to this dude's birthday party, but we're not his friend. Yeah, he disappeared. Oh, it's sad, but life goes on. Let's talk about these conspiracy theories. just like,
his conspiracy theories had me crying.
Listen, and the crazy thing is, when everything starts coming together, when Lily seeks out those guys, because of course in her mind she thinks that they're his friends, because this is, again, like you said, this is what he has led her to believe, that these are his friends. So when she goes to them after the stuff happens to her, she starts hearing the voices in the pipes, and then she sees a bloody finger come out of the bathtub, the hole in the bathtub, and she goes to his friends to say, hey, we need to figure out what happened to him. I'm hearing his voice, this, that, and the other. Philip is the one person who is like, oh, you're crazy. No, this can't happen. Dude, you are literally Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. You were talking about all this stuff, and that's what Teddy says to him. He was like, dude, you have told me 50 million ways that aliens have infiltrated the earth, and a voice coming out of the pipes is impossible to you? Like, right. What?
That's what I said.
That's what I did too. I was like, come on.
Right.
Phil,
you think aliens, they
everything.
had aliens on the base.
Right. Right.
But
it's no different from what real people do.
Yeah.
They do that in real life. They can talk about all this stuff, and then you get this one little thing that's actually got a possibility, or there's some kind of grain of truth, or you got some shred of evidence. They're like, no, that can't exist. What?
Well, that's what always bothered me about shows like True Blood. Y'all got vampires. They can't be fairies, werewolves. Oh, this can't be, that can't be. You're living with vampires.
Yeah. But you know what? It sneaks up on you, because I thought the same way when we were with Outlander, and we doing time travel, and then Jamie, spoiler alert, he start having, I don't know, visions. And she knows, and I was like, how are we having visions? Where'd that come from? And I'm like, Michelle, we watching time travel. Why can't we have visions too?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, okay.
Something.
I was like, oh, okay. But at first I did the same thing, like, that can't be real.
She really did. I was like, in time traveling 200
right.
years.
So I was like, okay, I'm sorry. We're in time travel. No
we
problem.
Can do this? Okay.
So he should be like thinking it's part of the aliens. He could have chucked that up to say it was aliens instead of saying, oh, it's nothing.
Right. And if I remember correctly, it is aliens, right? Or it was something?
No, yeah.
The original, in the original story, wasn't it like something having to do with the alien or
it is. Yeah. He is an alien.
Yeah.
No matter what, he's an alien. But so see, Phil.
Right.
So you had your chance and you threw it away.
Right.
Right. But it's just when all of this stuff starts happening. So Lily hears the voice in the in the tub, and she goes to them, and the show kind of shows a little bit of the background with her and Matty. Again, Matty invites her to the tower, just kind of like trying to get close to her and being a friend to her because of what happened. I guess one thing about him, he knows what it's like to be an outcast. He knows what it's like to be kind of alone, and he was reaching out to her as a friend, which I thought was really sweet. But then, of course, he tries to take it to another level and tries to kiss her. And she's like, we're friends.
Oh.
I don't want this.
Yeah. Oh, he got friends on real quick. Real quick. I've never seen a friend zone that fast in my life.
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah. But I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, I don't think she did it to be mean, and I don't think that she
might
have even been opposed to that idea if she had more time to think about it. But it was like literally, it was so sudden. And this, especially if you are a person who is used to being by herself, who is not used to being friends with anybody or having friends, especially male friends, for someone to just all of a sudden come at you like that, she was probably like, yeah, no, I don't know what to do with this. Let's, as Anthony says, let's put a bookmark right here. And yeah, maybe we might look at that later, but of course they really didn't have a chance to explore that, because I think within like a couple of days, this, is when he actually disappeared. But she takes her experience and what happens to her in the tub to Teddy and to Phil, and then they start to do research. They're like, okay, well, let's go check this out. They go to the library and they're looking at microfilm. I was like, wow.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's go back. Because when she first tells them, wait a second. Okay, I'm out of order. Never mind. Keep going.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I didn't realize the
order.
No, because I was thinking, did he go to his parents first? Or did he go to the library? I want to say something about the parents.
I think they went.
I have it on right now, but I just don't remember what came next.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Oh, you know what?
Like my brain, I really don't know what came next.
And I just had it on, and I don't remember.
I gotta remember because she had that experience, and then Teddy has an experience of his.
Oh wait, oh yeah, because she has experience. That's when she pulls them and tells them. Phil is like, this is unbelievable, and that's when Teddy, because we talked about it, Teddy asked his family, and I wanted to get to that because. The thing about it, I guess, is Dad has talked about their past. And when he brought it up about under the sewer, I think he snapped because it was almost like, have you not been listening to the stories we've been telling you?
Yeah. And
that could happen because this has been the worst things that has happened to us. Have you, come on.
Yeah,
because have you been paying attention?
He asked him about that, and when Dad starts telling him about what happened to, their Jewish ancestors, he's like, our ancestors were put into concentration camps. Their skins were used to make lampshades. He was like, horrors. He was like, yeah, we've dealt with horrors like this before.
It was more recent than ancestors, because I think the dad was like, we escaped from. I think it was recent.
Oh yeah, 1962. Yeah.
It was recent memory for him.
Yeah.
And side note, Michelle was watching Monster about Ed Gein, and the woman who was making the lampshades out of their skin is what inspired him to do the same thing. And so when I saw the lampshade rolling around, it made me think of Ed Gein again.
Listen.
But yeah,
but
I can understand. I know they're being influenced a little bit by it, but I can see how that would just trigger him.
That would be because we have told our kids what we came from, and then you asked me a ridiculous question: can someone be in the sewer?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the thing with that is they have to realize, when kids hear about horrible things, it's just a story to them. It doesn't have any tangibility for them. Just like nowadays, when kids hear about 9/11 and the things that we witnessed that day, the things we saw on TV, seeing the buildings come down, seeing people jumping from the top of a skyscraper, that's just a story to them. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I know it happened, but to them, it's like, I guess it's kind of like it's not a reality to them yet.
Right.
Once they see it, once they watch the archival footage or something like that, even my daughters were very young when 9/11 happened, and they remember kind of bits and pieces of it, but they never really watched any of the footage online because they were still really, really young. And recently my oldest daughter saw, I think it was some kind of documentary or something, and she was like, I forgot how bad it was. It's like you hear about those things, but then when you actually see those things, it's something different. So it's like, I understand why his dad went off on him, because he was like, yeah, we know about these kinds of horrors. We know about people being stolen and not making it out and this, that, and the other. So I can understand why he was upset with Teddy. But Teddy, again, at his age, he just doesn't get it.
Until it's something personal, like a semi-friend, acquaintance being in the sewer. I mean, honestly, that's it. And then you put it in his head. And then we have, because that would be horrifying to have that lamp next to you.
I was horrified that wasn't even there.
Right, and then it's rolling towards you.
Listen,
I'm done.
And the mouth is moving.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know who dreams up this stuff? Y'all need to go to therapy. They need to go to therapy because that and the way that the dad was kind of going off about it, he was like, yeah, you need to get your head out of comic books. I was like, I've read comic books before. I ain't never had that shit happen in my life. You know? And that's the thing. Teddy is sitting there, he's reading his comic books, and the light keeps flickering out. So he keeps reaching over. And when I saw the lamp, I said, oh, this is not gonna be good. Like, I didn't think it was gonna do what it did. I just thought maybe there was gonna be a jump scare or something like that. When he turned around and saw the faces in the lampshade, and he jumps off the bed and he runs and hides up under his desk, and then the lampshade starts rolling towards him. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this episode. Like, y'all have already shown me a demon baby. Y'all have shown me a finger coming out of the bathtub drain, which that shouldn't have been surprising to me because it's the same thing Beverly had to deal with.
Yeah, so like that's yeah.
But
so
still,
that wasn't bad. I'm sorry, that wasn't bad. But
I think it was the finger coming out and just kind of like searching around, like, "Hey,
it was
where are you?"
More he won't let me. That freaked me out. I was like, "Oh no, we will not."
Right.
And I'm more terrified of the lamp. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that lamp.
And it got him so bad that when you telling your friends, you throwing up.
Right. But this is the thing that makes them go back to Lily, because when Lily came to them and said, "Hey, I heard voices coming out of my bathtub," they was like, "No, I don't think that's right. You're a little crazy anyway." So, you know, she leaves. But then now, of course, now you've seen, you know, faces in your lampshade. Oh, you know what? I'm ready to believe. I was like, you know what? But
no,
you know
what? But what I love about Phil and Teddy is that's why they ride or die.
Yeah.
Because Teddy, the way Teddy is, Phil was like, he ain't making this shit up.
He ain't making it up. I know this.
So if he says that this happened to him, I believe it. We should be scared.
Yeah.
And I love that. He didn't say, I still don't know these are aliens. No, he was like, If my friend said it,
literally sitting here throwing up his guts.
Like my friend said it,
just water falling. I was like, oh my god.
Like, oh yeah, but you know what? I would be too, and I would not be hiding it. I would be right there throwing up my guts, and it'll be okay. Y'all can think what you want, but this is what I saw.
Yeah.
So at this point, that's when they decide, okay, we got to research this. We got to see if this has happened again. They go to the library and they start looking it up, and you know, they decide to go to the house of the girl who worked in the movie theater, because the newspaper article says that this is the last place that he was. That was the last place he was seen before he disappeared. Because again, at this point, they don't have a body. They're just presuming that he's dead because it's been 4 months. No one has seen hide nor hair of this kid. I mean, I think it's kind of premature to assume death, especially you don't have any blood, you don't have any body. This kid was obviously hitchhiking. I'm sure the first person who drove past him probably told the police, yeah, this kid was hitchhiking. You know, he could have been a runaway. He could have been whatever. But this is Derry. I guess they want to.
Well, that's the other thing that made me mad, is because the man who was chasing this kid all over the theater and nobody noticed that he was chasing this poor kid out. He chased him out onto the street. But all of a sudden, it's like,
it's the black dude.
Why wasn't he the one that they looked at and said, well, you were chasing him?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you really have to? I mean,
I know. I'm just saying.
Well, okay. So at first, yeah, but I will say this too. The whole fact that they went to Ronnie's house and she was the one who let them in the theater when all of the shit like really broke loose. Hal was nowhere near there. So it's kind of like, okay, you went to the black kid's house. She was the one who let y'all in, and then all of this stuff happened. But when
but the first kid, Ronnie, but Matty though, they really should have asked the boy who was chasing them, because you continue to chase him.
Yeah.
When we said leave the kid alone.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I guess they wanted to go ask the person who was closer to their age, because again, you are children and you're talking about things that most adults are not going to believe you. So you don't want to go to somebody who's even a semi-adult, because
no, I think she means the police. Like when they were investigating, okay. They should have gone to that guy because he had the biggest problem with the kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and he was missing he went missing. That was July 4th. I mean, not July 4th, January 4th.
Okay. January. Was that the date on the newspaper article?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, so when they go to Ronnie and they ask her about it, and she was like, "Why are y'all coming to me?" She was like, "I already told the police." She was like, "Yeah, y'all already know they've been asking my dad questions. Mm-hmm. There's suspicion." She was like, "Get away from my house." So as they're leaving, they're talking amongst each other, and they said, "See, we told you it was stupid. Nobody's going to believe a story about hearing singing through the pipes." And Ronnie hears this, and she was like, "Hold up.
Hold up."
Song? And they were like, "What, did you hear this too?" She was like, "Yeah." So then they start talking. They realize the song is from Music Man, which is what Matty was watching in the movie theater the night he disappeared. So they decide they're going to go to the movie theater and they're going to watch the movie. And they're like, okay, maybe something in the song is going to give us a clue.
Something in the song gave you a clue, all right?
So I was reading an article today, and it was talking about how this particular episode seemed like it borrowed a lot from Stranger Things, and then it went completely the opposite direction of Stranger Things, because Stranger Things was also the same. You have a boy who went missing, you have his group of friends who are trying to find him, and blah 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 blah. So they go to the movie theater. She starts playing the movie. Now she's up in the projector booth, the other kids are down here, and it's Teddy, it's Phil's little sister Susie, because he's stuck babysitting, and then Lily. So they're all sitting there in a row, they're watching the movie, and it comes to the scene where there's like this there's this speech being made. And at first when I heard the speech, I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like grown-ups talking about children, because it's like, yeah, you need to keep an eye on your children. Is your child doing this? When they leave your house, are they doing this? And he was saying a whole bunch of stuff that's outdated, so I'm not even going to try to repeat what he said. But it was one of those things where it's like parents talking to their children. Yeah, your children are doing things that you don't know about when they're not around you. And I was like, okay. So in the midst of this scene, all of a sudden you see Matty in the middle, holding a bundle that looks like a baby. And am I misremembering this, that the bundle was yellow?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
So,
it was yellow.
Yellow, kind of like Georgie's raincoat, right?
Yeah, it's yellow. And the family that was in the car is behind him.
Oh, I didn't notice. I just noticed
they're in the crowd.
Yeah, okay. Right behind him.
So, of course, the kids are all sitting here looking, and they're like, oh my God, that's Matty. How is he on the screen? And Matty appears to hear them. So they start calling out to him, Matty, hey, we're trying to help you. We're going to help you. Come on. Let me tell you. He starts telling them, yeah, I'm missing. I'm here, and it's all your fault. And he starts going off on them, basically like, oh yeah, you guys were shitty friends, that sort of thing. That's the reason why I'm here, blah, 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 blah. He looks down and he looks up, and he has the Pennywise grin on his face. And I was just like, okay, so this is definitely a Pennywise origin story. Okay. Then the shit starts. Because the little bundle that Matty is holding opens up, and it's the demon baby. And the demon baby comes through the screen into the movie theater. Now, if you ask me, they didn't get up fast enough.
No. First of all, I would have left when I seen Matty in the screen.
Right. Why are we still sitting here?
He's long gone. It's fine. We can't save him.
Bye, listen,
Sorry.
The moment he
Yes.
showed up on that
Yes, save
screen and he was holding something, I would have just been like easing myself backwards. And then you think Ronnie is safe because Ronnie is up in the projector screen.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Hey, Ronnie, you can turn it off now.
Oh, we need
know
to
where,
see.
we know where
Thanks.
Matty is.
listen. But the fact that this demon baby comes out of the screen, literally starts attacking them. They're running, they're going this direction, that direction. I think, was it Lily? Lily kind of freezes in place. She's still sitting in the chair.
No, Hanako. It's screen sized. It's the size it was on the screen. It's huge. It's like 6 feet tall.
It is ginormous.
Yeah.
Horrible.
But
like
Lily,
I said,
Lily don't move.
Lily is stuck. She is scared. She is stuck in her seat. And I'm gonna be honest, that is probably, I'm gonna say that's one of two things that probably saved her. Because she wasn't running. So the demon baby was literally chasing everybody else who was running. Okay. It got Teddy. It got Phil. It tore one of them like
let's start
in half.
As we watching this, and I said, "Oh, this is creepy." They about to get up and run out and have to figure out like what is happening. Until, rest in peace, Teddy is the first.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Teddy is tossed in the air and then ripped apart. At that moment in time, I knew that they all had been effed up.
Yeah.
It was
and this is not the losers club for this season. And I really like Teddy. He was actually my favorite.
I like Phil.
Teddy was mine.
Phil was an asshole, but he didn't deserve to go out the way he did because
and not his sister too.
Teddy gets ripped apart. Phil gets his face smushed into the projector room window, and then just drops. Lily finally gets out of her seat and she hides on the ground and she sees Susie and she tells Susie, now this is the thing that got me. You're literally screaming, Susie, bitch, you can't whisper?
Yes.
Like,
also, why are you telling her to come under the seats to you? Why don't you go to her? She the child, she the baby. You go save her. You look, you're crazy girl. Oh,
you know what? In this scenario, I can't say that I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be the hero. Well, you got to come to me. I'm safe. That thing has not paid me no attention right now. You need to come to me. But Lily tries to get to her. She has her arm extended, and then all of a sudden, here goes the demon baby, and he's looking at Lily. So I'm thinking Lily is about to die. Ronnie finds a way to get out of the projector room. She finds a little, I think it's like she gets the little hatchet out of the emergency break glass in case of emergency thing or something. And she knocks out the window. She gets out. She comes downstairs. She gets Lily. They run out. They close the doors and they kind of lock the door. And they're sitting there looking at each other, trying to figure out what's going on because Ronnie, I think she saw what was going on, but I don't think her mind processed what was going on because when Lily tells her they're all dead, Ronnie is like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're all dead. And then Lily happens to realize she has something in her hand. She looks down and brings her arm up and she's got the front part of Susie's hand, and that's all she has. So of course she lets out a scream. And I was just like, wow, y'all just killed two of the main characters, or technically three if you count Matty, because I'm sure Matty is going to be a main character throughout the season. I'm sure we're probably going to get some flashbacks, whatever. But it was just like, what scene are y'all looking at in the background? Because Michelle's face is like intense right now.
This is Ronnie coming in with the hammer, and she's getting Lily.
Oh, okay. The hammer. That's what it was.
The demon baby is getting up and they take off running.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
when she did that lift up and she was holding that child's hand, I said that baby
Yeah,
could
that's
have been
what
more than 6 or 7 years old.
Right.
Right. That's what she about to lift up now.
Yeah, I'm on the
And
part in the
blood
background.
everywhere.
I got
we
the
don't do well
lampshades
with
in the
people killing
background.
children, even though we know it's like MO, go through the children.
Yeah.
It
was crazy because it's like you're expecting some violence from this story. It's Pennywise. It's it. We're familiar with it. We know what happens.
Yeah.
But the way that it started and then the way that it ended, like the amount of violence, like even in the original miniseries, when Georgie gets his arm pulled off, we don't really actually see the arm come off. You just you see his arm go down into the sewer. You see him pull his arm out and the arm is gone and then he disappears, whatever. This was so visual.
This, and this. This is on some different shit. Yeah, so whatever he was in he like got older. He towards retirement.
Right.
This is when he is
fresh. New. And he's like excited
even
about
though
what
he's like
doing.
Thousands of years old, like millions of years old. Like, I don't know this because it's the beginning.
It's the beginning
of his awakening.
He's excited for the hunt.
And we've seen him in the other at the end when he's about to go to sleep. So he's kind of full. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this right here is some he different. Yeah. And I felt some type of way at the end of this episode. Yeah. Because you got me liking these kids. And I thought I didn't pay attention to the trailer clearly because I assumed that they were part of the Losers Club.
We thought, and I think they did that on purpose.
I really thought they were.
Yeah,
but when they ripped that boy in half, I said, I'm done.
Oh man! And then slammed him up against the glass. I was like,
and then you left. Only thing you left was little girl's hand. She didn't. She just wanted to go get a milkshake.
Right. Yeah. She was just a baby.
Right.
Right. So.
And the fact that they didn't actually show Matty die, I was like, okay, well, we know what happened to Matty. His little pacifier flew across,
Yeah.
But baby, when I seen that hand, I said, oh, we in for it.
Right. Yeah. And I think, Susie, she just happened to be a casualty because she was there with them. But I'm going to be honest, even though that's Matty on the screen and we know that he is, I don't know if he's being taken over by this entity, if he is this entity or whatever. I think there's still a part of like actual Matty there. I think that's the reason why Lily and Ronnie for now are still alive, because those were the two people who were friendly to him. Those were the people that he would have considered friends, because even though Lily rebuffed his advance as a kiss, she said, we're friends. Like she literally told him, I'm your friend, you're my friend. Ronnie helped him out. When Hal was chasing him out the movie theater or looking for him, she lied to protect him. She was like, oh yeah, I saw him. He went that way. So I think that's the only reason why those two girls are still alive, because there is probably still a part of Matty that is aware. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do this to them because they actually cared about me in some, shape, form, or fashion. Again, like we said,
no, they got nothing to do with Matty.
It has anything to do.
They use Matty. The thing about it is, those boys felt more guilt probably than she did.
Yeah,
they felt guilt.
It was getting more emotion from the two of them.
Yeah,
but they only feel guilt because of the fact that he disappeared. If he
but that is not Matty, period. That's it. But he's feeding off of that, and they have more guilt and they had more fear at the time. Lily been through some stuff, so her fear factor is what gets her is something totally different.
I don't know. There's something about watching these people get ripped apart in front of you. I think that
but she's been through that though before. So you got to imagine she has imagined her dad, but still, I mean,
not witnessing it,
right? But she got saved too at the end because he was coming for her. He was finishing his other meal.
Yeah,
Ronnie pulled her out of there and then put the hammer through the door. But ultimately, they had the most amount of fear when it got thrown through that screen than she did. And she also had a lucky charm.
Yeah. Matty.
The turtle charm.
She had the turtle charm.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay. But
and even though we're not going to, even though they never established the turtle in this universe, the turtle has to be something because it's been in all of the movies.
And the turtle iconography it was even in this show with the bomb shelter turtle.
Yeah, and then she has a little turtle. But it was also in the movies too. Yeah. So that will be her one saving grace.
Okay.
Because they were so scared, they literally jumped up and took off running.
Yeah.
And she just sat there paralyzed of like, I don't even know where to begin.
She probably was like, maybe if I just sit still, it won't notice.
Yeah, she's still processing, but they're immense. He's going for that.
That fear, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and Teddy was already on edge from the lamp earlier. He still was throwing up that day, remembering what was happening.
Yeah. But that poor Susie, I was like, she didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it. Georgie didn't deserve it either.
Yeah.
Like you said, Anthony, he just wanted somebody to go sail his boat with him.
That's all.
Yeah.
He just wanted someone to play with the boat. That's it. His brother.
Georgie.
That's all he wanted.
Right.
Poor Georgie.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I say that end scene fucked me up because I was like, so y'all just killed half of the main characters.
Right. That's how I was like, so well then well
I guess they're not main characters, but
right, they wasn't. But they did such a great job, even though the guy who did it is from the movies It. So that's why it has the continuity and the sameness to it.
Yeah.
But they did such a good job, literally, of us caring about Phil and Teddy. I really like the combo.
They fit in the Losers Club, like, print of like, the templates and all the little nerdy boys.
Right.
They fit.
Going to do the research, believing in each other and.
Yep. But they're gone. So now we're going to have to, see how Ronnie and Lily deal with this moving forward. And not only that, like, how do you explain that to people? Like, when they come to open up the theater, when you have to call 911 because your friends just got torn apart, like, how do you even start that conversation? Or like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Not only that, but like, how do you sit here and talk to these kids, and then you still gonna be like, well, it had to be this guy. So, what I'm thinking is, no.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know. I'm surprised Lily at the next episode she ain't back at the
Juniper Hill.
Yeah, I would be surprised too. Yeah,
somebody check me in, please. Check me in.
Because I'd be like, this is
too much.
It's too much. I've seen too much.
Right. Poor girl. Oh my God. But I mean, just both of them are gonna have to deal with this in very
right.
Yeah. But on the less gruesome side of things, let's go back to Major Hanlon, because I know that I don't know how big a part he's going to play in this series, but we know that his grandson eventually becomes Mike Hanlon from the Losers Club and he is one of the people that helps defeat Pennywise, 30-something year, or 30-something, 54 years down the line. But
we see Major Hammond in chapter 1 because he's with Mike.
The grandfather?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's the
He
farmer.
was a farmer. He was talking to him about the farming.
No, that's his dad.
No,
Mm-mm.
Because his dad is dead at that point.
Yeah, his parents is dead. They died in the
They
fire.
died in the fire. That was in that. What was the actor? Glenn Thurman, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Glenn Thurman.
He was telling him things that he needed to do.
Okay.
Mhm.
I gotta go back and rewatch that because I thought
much be a leader.
Okay.
and you got to figure out some stuff. So it's probably after he retires and stuff, from the military. He gets a farm and they do cattle because it was cattle farming.
Mm-hmm.
But his part of the story so far is like, I'm not gonna say it's boring, but of course it's less bloody. Kind of, we do have the attack. He does get attacked by some people, which we don't really know why. Supposedly he was brought to the Air Force base in Derry because he is a great pilot and they want him to fly this experimental plane. And the people who break into his barracks, they beat him because they want the specifics on that particular plane. But I'm like,
how do you be Russian spies but don't have a Russian accent?
And see, that's why I don't think they're Russians. I think that little asshole racist military guy that's there. I can't remember what rank he was.
Masters of all names.
Right.
Masters.
I think he was probably one of them. And then it might have been some other ones who don't like the fact that there is a black major that's outranking them and calling the shots. But I was like, don't none of y'all have an accent. But
all I know is if they hadn't hit him with that metal pipe, he was gonna whip some ass.
He was gonna take him down.
He was getting ready to whip that ass.
However,
friend that came in
thank you, and I like Russo. I like Russo. Russo came in out of nowhere.
He came in Spider Monkey on
right. He did. Right. I love it.
Right. But I'm kind of curious as to like what his part of the story in all of this is going to be, aside from being the way that Mike eventually ends up in Derry. But it's kind of like, okay, so you have this major that's on a military base, and of course they've already shown us that there's a section of the military base that's doing some classified experiments. So I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with the Pennywise stuff or if it's going to have something to do with something else. But it's kind of like I'm curious, but not overly curious about his part of the story. But again, this is only the first episode. I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe I don't need to know this part of the story. But I mean, like we said, y'all killed off half of the main characters, so it's not like we can get more of that unless you're going to give us some backstory on these characters, which at this point is kind of like, I don't even know if we need, like, I don't know. Just where do you go from here with these characters? Because you got the two little girls who survived and who are going to have to deal with the aftermath of all of this. I don't know.
But I guess in some ways we have to have we have to have him so that we can have Will, so that we can have Mike, and so there has to be something. They're gonna have to drum up something good for him to make it, because otherwise it's all about the kids and the grown-ups don't really matter in a lot of these cases.
But I wonder if him being part of the story is one of the reasons why Mike ended up staying in Derry. And, he became like, what was it? He was a library, but he was also the historian. He was the one that kind of kept track of all of this stuff and kind of tracked Pennywise and the disappearances and stuff. I wonder if it has something to do with whatever happens to Major Hanlon in this time period in 1962 that kind of causes him to make that decision. Because I'm sorry, I would be like, you know what? We're not even from Derry. I'm leaving.
Well, how about this? We know Major Hanlon's family is coming, so we know Mike's dad is probably going to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
What if he joins whatever the new Losers Club is,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't really know anything about him other than the fact that he and his wife died in the fire. What if we learn more about his part in the whole thing with
Okay.
it?
Yeah. Maybe.
And maybe there's a reason why he died in the fire.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Major Hanlon's story is probably like another It story, but a different track. Like it's
Okay.
something totally different.
Hmm.
Because it's some secret
Yeah.
on that
And to
military
be
base.
fair, it definitely affects adults, maybe different than how it does the kids, but definitely affects adults, because if I remember correctly, even though they really don't talk about it as much, but like there's the in the beginning of the book, there's the gay character that gets killed. He gets murdered in the beginning of the book, and then I think they kind of hit on it in the new movies about
They
the
do.
guy.
The second one.
They do.
The second
Part
one,
2.
so like
Almost like
he
the
definitely
adults
has.
walk around with like a fog or a haze or a cloud going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, because that was a character that dies in the part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go back and rewatch those 2 movies
Because he had a lot. I mean, it was a lot of fear because they were getting beat up on
Yeah. They were getting attacked
by the
because they were
village
gay,
idiots.
and
Yeah.
it was
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
it fed on him.
he definitely goes after whoever he can get the fear from, but the adults
Yeah.
have a separate, like,
Right.
he's a special hell for the children.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm like, what? So, and I understand it's probably because kids, I think the fear is greater because I think as children, our imagination is not limited as like adults are. So as children, we have the potential to believe in more, So like if we see something weird, we're not going to question it. Like an adult will probably see something like Pennywise standing there with a balloon and be like, I'm imagining that. And when they turn around and look, it's gone because they don't automatically get scared or they don't automatically assume that that's something that's real. And maybe that's why he feeds off the children, because the children, their imaginations are so open that he can be like, yeah, I can literally show them or do anything to them and they're going to believe it and they're going to get scared. And yes, that's what I want.
Yeah. Well, he definitely knew what he was doing when he chose the clown persona. Because I knew, no.
Listen, and the crazy
but I think
is
King in interviews has said that was why he had it go after children, is because their fear is much more powerful and much more pure than adult fear.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you stumble upon an adult with a bunch of fear, I mean, hey, it's like, have a little side snack.
Yeah.
But I want a steak, and that's the kids.
Yeah.
Because they have a high rate of missing children in Derry.
Right. And that's another thing. Like,
yeah, he said it.
Is doing this.
Yeah, but then he said it in part 1. It's the kids and adults. It's just kids is a higher number, but the whole adult and kid number is higher than the national average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people tend to forget that there are kids and adults missing.
And that's what I was going to say. It's something about, and of course, we know Derry is like the main setting for most of his stories. But my whole thing is, if I'm living in Derry and all these children or all this weird shit is happening,
I'm leaving.
I'm moving. So I'm just kind of wondering.
Well, it's not necessarily Derry. It's that area of Maine, because there's Jerusalem's Lot, Derry, and then there's
He's talking about Derry, the numbers for Derry. But the issue is that it does have a spell over the area, so people don't leave. Yeah. And they're kind of numb to what is happening because then it stops. Okay. And then they're fine.
It's like 27
and then it
years.
Happens. So and then another generation is involved. Okay. So they don't, because someone did a deep dive on like it is because of just the power it has. The losers from the Losers Club left, but they're different.
Yeah.
Whatever it is about them made them different.
Well, because they faced them.
Yeah, and they were able to leave, still lost memory of what happened, but they all end up being successful too.
Yeah. But then when they came back, it kind of that memory reinserted themselves, and so that fear kind of started over.
Yeah, but everybody else is like just drugged.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I do need to go back and reread those books. It's been a while since I've read it.
I think I do want to reread it too.
Gosh, it's been like maybe 20 years since I picked up that book.
If you do, you'll find Juniper Hill shows up in a lot of books.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Because wasn't what was his name? The guy who bullied the Losers Club. The one wasn't he at Juniper Hill too?
Yeah, he was in Juniper Hill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it was mentioned in The Dark Half, it was mentioned in The Dead Zone, it was mentioned in I won't say Rose Madden? Whatever. Yeah, it showed Gerald's game. It was in Gerald's game. Juniper Hill shows up in a lot of this stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, I need to go back and reread a lot of his stuff because it's been years. Because I got to a point, I think we've had this conversation before. As I've gotten older, I kind of strayed away from horror because my imagination is a little too overactive. And I just got to a point where I just couldn't deal with it. But now I'm kind of slowly coming back into it. So
no, you just realized what we've been telling you the last year or so. You are a horror person.
Right. But I also think, you know what I think it was for you, Hanako? You had babies.
You know what? And that could be it.
Because that happened for my sister. My sister was obsessed with horror movies like my whole youth. And I was obsessed. She was obsessed. And as soon as she started having kids, she could not watch scary stuff anymore because something about that nurture, her babies, it just made her uncomfortable. She couldn't watch that stuff anymore. And then after they grew up and she was like, oh, I can kick them in their butts and get them out of my house. She's back to, watching whatever now.
And that could be it because especially my oldest daughter, she is a big horror person, but all three of them love horror stuff. So they would literally be like, Mom, you got to come sit down and watch this with us. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. But it's like just in the last, I would say maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, I've kind of started dipping my toe back.
Well, you know what it started with?
I don't understand why she said dipping toe when she been watching Walking Dead for 30 goddamn years.
Walking Dead is not, I don't consider Walking Dead horror.
Walking Dead, Interview with the Vampire. All the vampire
refused.
Right, and Vampire Diaries, Twilight. Vampires is horror. I don't care what you say. Whether they sparkly or not, it's still horror.
Okay, but let's just say, you have your horror that falls into different categories. Like I can watch vampires, I can watch zombies. Don't ask me to watch a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm. I think I've watched one Nightmare on Elm Street and that was enough for me. I can't do it. I can't fuck with Freddy Krueger like that. I can't. I cannot do it. So yeah, I think
he's the same darn species as it, feeding off people's fear.
Right, and I was gonna bring that up earlier. That's exactly what his driving force was. He fed off their fear.
Yeah,
and he talks about that specifically in Dream. I was just watching Dream Warriors the other day. And he specifically says that the fears taste so good in you. That's why I'm coming, and I'm just like, man, how do you fight that?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
That's okay. I think I can deal with Pennywise because I read that book when I was 16. So I'm familiar with that type of, I'm familiar with Pennywise. But like I said, even the newer versions of it took me 2 years before I watched them. And then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch this and it's gonna be okay. And then I turned it on and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like I was good. I did that Naruto run through the water in the basement. When I say
like the first one
on my couch and paused the TV, I was like, I can't. Yeah. It took me 30 minutes to turn it back on so I could finish it. Because that run, and then you see him doing the same run in one of the trailers for this series. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, part one, yeah. I remember seeing this. It's funny because we were on a cruise ship. One of the
Oh.
few that actually has a movie theater on it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, I mean, the miniseries scared me. It really did.
Yeah.
And I hate clowns. However, part two helped because when I found out that it was just a spider alien, I was good. I was like, fuck, this is what I'm scared of. All the stuff before is creepy. It does help. It did help. And I was like, okay, I was able to it took a week to go back to sleep. But when the newest movies came out, that first one, I was like, okay, I already know Georgie, arm. But when we saw the teeth come out and no, you actually see him bite his arm.
Yeah.
And then the little boy is literally crawling in the rain with the blood coming from his arm. And you just steady reaching out and rip his ass back in. I was like, okay, we know this is on some different type of shit.
Some different type of shit.
And
then the whole scene with them in the house.
This is different.
With them in the house, and
I
was like,
yeah,
it's a little different.
But it's different watching it. Yeah, but watching it this week again, I was just like, it wasn't bad. It was just funny because I'm like, come on, kids, just don't go that way.
You see what the house looks like. You go in there.
Go around.
I'm at Pennywise. Like, dude, like, come at me like smiling first. You look creepy, and then you want to go, no, come nice. Come like, hey, he's a sweet little kid. Can I help you?
The Tim Curry way. You come sweet and nice and funny, and then the teeth.
Did you just say sweet?
Yeah.
That's how you get the kids.
Tim Curry was nice. He was a balloon.
Well, you came with the red. First of all, you had me running from a leopard, and then I get far from the house, and then you got a bunch of red balloons come up, and then you look at them, and then you want to smile. No, you smile first, and then look like I need to run.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
and I'm sorry. Who got it worse? Bev got it worse. I'm sorry. Bev got it worse, and I can't think of his name. The one that died.
Stan,
because he was eaten.
Oh, and we mentioned it. Stan,
he still had the scars when he was older on his face from being
right.
Because his whole face was in its mouth. Okay, I'm just saying.
Stan is
he needed therapy.
Teddy's nephew, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
he's the son of Teddy's brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So it hit that household like twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did. So
because they already had trauma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he killed one and got close to killing the second one, and then Stan just couldn't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stan was like, oh. So what you're saying is he's back. Okay, good. I'm going to die now. Bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He was like, yeah, I'm going to let y'all handle this. But
I do have, this is when we stop recording. I have some plot holes on that one, but dealing with Stan. But maybe y'all can help me fix those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But okay, so welcome to Derry, episode 1.
There you go. Welcome.
Very, very strong start.
Welcome.
I don't know if welcome is the right word, but I guess we're here now. So
yeah,
we're here now.
I hate when the major was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm getting a house in town for my family," and I'm thinking, "Don't do it.
Just stay on the base.
Stay on base."
But I don't know because we don't know what's in that secret. We don't know what's in that secret barracks.
I don't care.
But we know what's in the city.
Yeah, so stay on base.
Stay on
base.
So, is this This is really where you want to stay, brother?
Right.
Is this really where you want to stay? I don't think it's where you want to stay.
Bruh, like I don't know who's and I guess the thing is, like you said, people must be like living in a fog or whatever, because nobody is saying, yeah, we got some weird shit happening around here.
Mm-mm.
Like Okay.
That's the whole point. It has its claws into the people of Derry.
Yeah. Because when he was in the Jeep, when they first picked him up, the guy was like, he told him he was staying, and the guy was like, "Oh, well, Derry's the perfect place. You love Derry," and I'm like,
Yeah, what did he say? He said, I think my wife is looking forward to a little bit of normal. He said, "Oh, well, if you're looking for normal, you're gonna love it in Derry." I was like, famous last words.
No, you won't.
You're gonna love Derry.
Like, less truthful words have never been spoken.
Let's yeah.
Yeah.
See,
But I think this series is going for 6 episodes in this first season. I don't know if they're renewed for a second season yet. I don't know if we need a second season. It just depends on what they do with this first season. Because I mean, we already know how the story ends. It's just right now we're building up to get to that point. So I don't know if we'll at some point in this series meet the newer losers club or the generation in between this generation and the losers club. But
I think they said they're thinking about going backwards.
Yeah, they're going backwards.
Oh, I did see something about
They're
that.
gonna go
Yeah.
backwards.
List of which season, which time period is going to cover.
Yeah, all those side stories and lore stories from the book. They're gonna
1927 or something, like when he first got the clown persona, is like in way back at when they had like a traveling thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I did see that somewhere. I'm gonna have to look that up, and then we can talk about that on the next one.
If they do that, that would be I would be down for that.
Heck yeah.
I would be
Kill
down
more
for that.
children. Let's go.
And plus, it's something different. Like when have you seen a series do something like that where they just go backwards?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, I was just
they're separate series, not the same series. Those are all separate series, aren't they?
They're the same. It's the same family.
I know it's the same family, but it's not the same show. It's different shows.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Anthony.
Okay, I get what you're saying. It's called Yellowstone 1923. It's called Yellowstone 18.
It's not the same show.
Oh, okay.
I get what you're saying, but yeah, because you know, we know that Pennywise makes his appearance every 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
So and I know that in the original miniseries, they kind of went back and they told us about the different like tragedies. Like I know that there is a if I'm not mistaken, there was a factory fire that killed like 80 something kids, 100 something people altogether. And then there was another large tragedy.
There was a gang massacre.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There was the black spot, the gang massacre, the Easter egg hunt tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably going to touch on all of those. So that they're going to do that. That's fine. That would be great. And then that would also give me incentive just to kind of go back and reread the book, just to kind of refamiliarize myself with the story. But as much as I hate that the kids are dying, I'm actually enjoying the first episode, you know?
Yeah.
It's making me apprehensive for what's coming next. Like, are you going to introduce us to more children that we're going to watch die? And what kind of trauma are you going to continue to take Lily and Ronnie on from this point? So I don't know. You guys have any final thoughts about Welcome to Derry episode 1?
I would say it lived up to expectations. So yeah,
that's a good way to say it, Aunt. That's a good way to say it.
And I don't think we need to say anything else on that note. That is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.